On the Range podcast. On the Range.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to On the Range podcast, Vantage Point. I'm your host, Mark Kelley from KelleyDefense.com. Wherever you are, thank you for making us part of your day. Happy Halloween Eve. Make sure that you're being safe out there. You're watching out for the little ghouls and goblins who are out there collecting their bounty. They're not going to be looking for you, so you need to be looking for them. Just be safe and have a safe Halloween. It's a big deal around here in the Kelley Defense House, so we're looking forward to it. Everybody have fun and be safe. Also, do us a favor. Swing by warhog.com and KelleyDefense.com and sign up for our newsletters. Also, while you are there, sign up for the crew membership. It's free. There's a free membership to the OTR crew with Rick and I. And if you like what you're seeing, you can always join one of the tiers, get involved with the bi-monthly Zoom calls, and also have access to our entire training catalog. But regardless, there's a lot of good free content. Make sure you sign up for the crew at patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Today's episode, as always, is brought to you by the Firearms Training Notebook, 1% better every day from Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. You can't plan your next training session effectively without planning, having a plan when you go to the range. Don't just throw quarters down the range. Make sure you're training and not just shooting. Collect your data and track your progression. This tool will make you better. It definitely will. It's a game changer. So you can go to Amazon or you can go to the websites and get an autographed copy from Rick and I. Either way, check out the Firearms Training Notebook. Speaking of the newsletters, Rick put one out today. He's got a training coming up that's going to be hosted. It's in Suffolk County, Virginia. It's going to be hosted by spikeswish.org. Rick's going to do the one-handed pistol shooting for canine handlers. Make sure you check that out. That's coming up in December. So make sure you go to warhog.com, sign up for those newsletters. But that is coming up, so you can check that out at spikescaninefund.org. Okay, I know we're talking about performance. We're always talking about performance over the outcome, right? Here in the OTR universe. And I want to hammer that in. I had a great conversation today. Coming back from the AT-Canine. Coming back from the American Tactical Canine Association, we had a lot of good response. This is the first time we actually were out there where folks were expecting to do some of the performance shooting stuff that we are talking about using the Firearms Training Notebook with Rick and I, Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. And it was a great success. It was a great success. They were loving it. They were wanting to collect that data so that they can use it, recreate those drills, try to work things out in their dry fire sessions to see if they can clean some stuff up, pick up some time, just perform better. And that is a problem that we are seeing in some of the armed professionals that we see come to our classes. It seems like at least 50% of the time that they go to the range, it's test day. It's not training day. Let's be real. They're there to qualify or do whatever, but they're testing. They're not really training. Now, I know there's all kinds of things that go into that, a lot of variables, time, shuffling the troops through. I get it. I understand. But we have to really focus on that performance piece. That's why the Firearms Training Notebook and that type of training is so important, because you are trying to make the best out of your time spent while you're training, not just throwing quarters downrange. So that's what we really want to talk about. A lot of times people are so concerned with the outcome. They're looking at their targets, right? Oh, my target's all jacked up. No, something you're doing back here is jacked up. That's causing that. Don't worry about the target. Let's fix what's going on here and let's clean that up. A lot of times when we're talking about performance, it's breaking that drill into chunks and then taking those chunks and breaking them into individual pieces, individual actions. Maybe it's starting here, coming down the holster. Then it's disengaging ALS. Then it's taking it out of the holster, clearing that leather. Then it's orienting the firearm towards the target. You can break those things down and pick up time where you can, or clean it up just by being efficient. So that's what we mean. That's what we mean. You'll see sprinters and you'll see middle distance. They're working on all kinds of other things other than talking about the final time of the total race. They're cleaning up those bits, the splits in between different benchmarks that they want to hit and what time they want to hit, what position they want to be in, and how to make that better. It's not just the outcome. It's the performance that we're trying to talk about. How are we performing and is it efficient? The outcome will be there, but you have to perform those tasks as best you can and as efficient you can. And the way to do that is to focus on those things, not just the holes in the target. Now, there's another piece to that. The mindset of the student that's solely focused on the outcome starts to become a problem. It really begins to become a problem. They see that they're not hitting where they want to, or they're not getting the score that they need to, and they start to fall apart. They're not focusing on what they're doing. They're just so totally focusing on the outcome. And that's being bred into them. In some cases, we're doing that to them, the instructors. The way it's set up, the mindset that's being taught, the punishment that may come from a negative outcome according to what the standard is. Instead of saying, hey, you did that 3/4 of a second faster than you did last time and your hits were better. Instead of focusing on that, we're focusing on whether or not they passed or not. It's just like with our eval, the Hogg eval. We talk about that all the time. That's your eval. It's not mine. It's got nothing to do how I shoot it. Hey, could you shoot it? So we had a student ask this. Hey, could you shoot it so I can have a point of reference? No, because it doesn't make any difference what I'm doing. This is your eval. This is where you are. Then you take those splits, you annotate that data, and then you start looking at it. And then you can see where that time is coming from, what's being added to, and where I can take away just by doing a few things. Then we start working on some other stuff. And then having a camera set up or a person there to help you and take a real good look at you and analyze what you're doing. Then start to clean that stuff up. And it all just comes from focusing on the performance. But that mindset can be devastating, cause all kinds of anxiety in some of these folks. And that's not what we're trying to do. We want them to come there expecting that they're going to learn something, with an expectation that they're going to be better when they leave today. The firearms training notebook does that. You know you're going to be better if you're writing it down and you're tracking it, and what you're doing is working. If it's not, then you adjust. But you can see it. Some people aren't even doing that. They're not even writing it down, so they don't even know where they are in their evals. But again, it's all about performance on demand. And that's what we're training for. We're training for the performance.
On the range.
Kind of a quick show today, guys. Just wanted to get something out there for you. I know it's been a few days since we had a show out there. Want to remind you, crew members, make sure you stay tuned, and that includes the free membership. Stay tuned at the end of this show. Your show continues over on the crew membership page at patreon.com/on the range podcast. Get your bonus content off of this show. So make sure you stay tuned. Anyway, tell me what you think about this take. Tell me if you have seen what I'm talking about, where a lot of times folks are focusing on the outcome and not really focusing on the performance, not trying to ensure that they have performance on demand skills and whatever that skill is, and whether or not they're annotating it. But either way, make sure you go to warhog.com and kelleydefense.com and check out the newsletters. Also check out the crew membership, and make sure you check out our industry partners and calendars, our training calendars, starting to fill those up a lot. Usually in the early of the year, we have the military law enforcement stuff, but there's a lot of open enrollments that Rick and I sprinkle in during those visits, wherever we're at. We're trying to find ranges, and we're trying to do open enrollments for everyone to attend. So anyway, tell me what you think. Make sure that you have a safe Halloween. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to go to those websites and check out those crew memberships. Everyone, be safe and have a great day.